Hey guys, this is a first looks video of the ZEV OZ9. This is not a full review, this is just a first looks video going over my initial thoughts of the OZ9, what I think of it with the couple hundred rounds that I've shot through it so far. I will do a full review later on after I've shot a lot more rounds through it and give you guys much better idea of what I think of everything and the reliability and how things actually work on this gun. But I want to give you guys my initial thoughts of this gun out of the box and after doing some shooting with it. So let's get right into this. The one thing that I really want to find out in the full review after I've done all my testing, is this gun worth the money? You can get this one right here about $1,400. The fancier one is about $1,800, $1,700. So it's a very expensive gun, and what I want to figure out, is it worth spending your money on this gun? Is the extra added cost worth all the things that you're getting with this? So let's get right into it. The looks. That is the very first thing you're going to notice when you get this gun or look at this gun, is how good it looks. ZEV does a really good job with the design of this, making it really aesthetically pleasing and actually making it functional as well, using the design to use some function along with just making it look super sharp. So let's go top to bottom here. Now these sights, these are fiber optic sights, and I really like these. I think they're very accurate, they work well, they're good for concealing, they're good for shooting longer distance, and they look sharp on the gun. If you've ever used fiber optics before, this is about the same concept. You got the black rear here, and then you've got the fiber optic on the front. I've used Trigon, I've used Marigold, I believe. I've used some other brands of fiber optics, and I would say this is just the same as those. There's really nothing that makes them better. There's nothing that makes them worse. So if you've ever used fiber optics, then you know what's going to be on this gun. I'm glad they went that route because I would either go fiber optic or tritium, and I think fiber optics are a good choice. So now for the slide. It has a lot of texturing everywhere, so you're able to manipulate this gun in a lot of different ways, and it's easy to work malfunctions with, which I have not had a malfunction with it yet, but it is easy to work with and manipulate. This does come cut for an RMR, which is nice because you don't have to send this off later and get it cut, because the majority of guns, I think a lot of people are really going red dot just because it's a superior thing. I have not put one on yet just because I really want to get comfortable with the iron sights, see how they work on this gun, and then I'm going to eventually switch to probably a 508T or an RMR. Haven't decided yet, but I'm going to go with that. This is cut for the RMR, so if you have those optics, you're able to put them on there. If you don't, you're kind of crap out of luck, or you'll have to get one. But I'm glad they went with the RMR because I think that's probably the most popular footprint and the one that I'm going to go with. I'm going to conceal this or use this for a duty use gun. Now let's go here to the middle. So your normal frames of a handgun are going to be the actual grip itself. This one is not. There is a frame right here in the middle. That is what's serialized. And what I really like about that is you're able to customize this a little bit to yourself, so you can make the grip lengths different, or depending on what you're doing that day. Maybe you want to conceal this and make it a little bit easier to conceal. You can change the grip lengths, which is cool. So that frame allows for some other options with customizability. Again, I don't know if that's a word, but I've used it a lot in a lot of the videos. No one's ever said it wasn't, so I'm going to keep using it. What's also cool is this is a metal frame, so it also makes the weight of this gun different than what you would feel with a normal Glock, and that's what really this compares to, as a Glock. I mean, it really looks a lot like a Glock. That's what they kind of went with. It takes Glock magazines. It's not a Glock, but that's really what it compares to. So when you're comfortable with a Glock, this is going to feel a little bit different because of the frame and the design of that, and the grip, obviously, the angle of it. But this allows for a lot more weight up front, not only just because of the flashlight, but because of the frame being metal, and a lot of it right here where this mount is. So it's kind of cool because when you have a fully loaded magazine in this and a flashlight, and with the frame being that way, it's a really well-balanced gun, and it shoots really, really flat, which is something I really like, which we'll talk a little bit further when I talk about the shooting of it. But the frame allows for this to be a really balanced gun. So now with the grip, so the angle of this is a little more 1911-y. It's not like your normal Glocks, which is cool, and it's really going to be a personal preference. So I can't really tell you, yes, this is superior, no, it's not, because this is going to be a personal preference thing. For me, I really like the grip angle. I think it feels good in my hand. I think the texturing that they did is really nice. It's a little bit aggressive for concealed carry. I concealed it without an undershirt, and it got a little uncomfortable after a while because of that. But when it's in your hand, it is very comfortable and it's easy to shoot. They have some nice undercutting, so you get a really high grip on this, and I feel like I'm able to get really high and tight to the slide a lot more than my Glocks, where I just feel like what they did with the cuts and the angle allows you to do that. Now for the trigger. When I first got this and was doing some dry firing with it just to see how I liked it, I really wasn't impressed. And I was a little disappointed, honestly, because I thought in my head, you know, okay, this is a really expensive gun, $1,300, the trigger's going to be fantastic. And when I was dry firing it, it left a little bit to be desired. Now, I will say, when I went out to the range, I was out with my wife, and she was doing some shooting with me with this, And I was shocked after I shot it because it was completely different. And I don't know why, I don't know, maybe it just need broken in or whatnot, but it was way different and way better. After I shot this gun, I really like this trigger. And it's gonna be something that you'll have to shoot it and see for yourself, but it's really light, has a good reset. My wife shot it and she actually didn't want to give it back to me, but she shot it really well and she was really happy with it as well. But the trigger is really nice, so if you get one of these or you're at the gun store and you're trying to feel it and see how you like it and you're a little bit disappointed in the trigger, I was as well, so don't feel bad. See if you're able to get one of these and shoot it and see what you think then. I don't want to talk too much about the trigger and the accuracy and things because I want to shoot a lot more rounds before I give my full opinion about it. Now for magazines, this does take Glock mags, but they send PMags with it. I'm not a super big fan of PMags just because I don't think they load super well and they don't really feed or release out of some Glocks. Sometimes I have to strip them and I'm not a big fan of that. I want my mags to free float out of the gun. And I will say that whatever they did with the grip on this, PMags flow out of this really easy. I've been using PMags just because that's what came with the gun. I've been using some Glock mags, but primarily it's been PMags and I haven't had any issues, but again, I'm just not a super big fan of how these load. But I'm gonna continue to use these and hopefully maybe they'll change my mind, especially with this gun and the fact that it does fit really well into the gun. So now for this gun as a whole and how it shoots. I was really happy with how this thing shot. I think it shoots really flat and it's really controllable. And I think a lot of that is due to, like I said before, the weight distribution. It's really balanced, it's really comfortable, and I feel very in control of this gun. So I will see how that changes, or maybe it gets better or worse, or it stays the same the longer that I shoot this and the more comfortable I get with it. But so far, I'm really happy with the gun. Shoots super flat, and it's been accurate as far as I've been able to shoot. I've been able to shoot 50 yards with it pretty easily, and anything closer, I've been really confident with shooting this. Another thing I wanted to mention is holsters. Now, another big thing that's really annoying when you switch guns is having to buy all new holsters. You have to buy outside the waistband holster, you have to buy conceal holsters because it's expensive, and that was one thing I was worried about because I didn't think this was gonna fit these. But this is a Glock 17 holster, this is a Kerber holster, but this does fit in really well. It locks in, has good retention, and it comes out easily. No snags, doesn't stick on anything or feel really gritty or hard to get in, goes in nicely. Now this is a tier 1 holster. This is one of my conceal holsters that I like. Probably one of my favorite conceal holsters, but it also fits in there really good, has good retention, and comes out and does not have any kind of grittiness going in. So is this because it's a light compatible holster and the tension's more on the light, not the gun? I don't know. I'll try that in the full review. I'll get some different holsters and try it, and I'll give you guys a solid answer for that. But what I can say is if you have a Surefire X300 and this gun and you have a holster for it, it is going to fit those because I've had a couple different holsters that I've tried from different companies and I've had no issues with it. So that's a really big benefit because you don't have to buy new holsters, which is expensive, especially when you're already spending this kind of money on a gun. You really don't want to spend another couple $100 on new holsters on everything. So there you go. Those are my initial thoughts. I'm really happy with this gun so far. Now, I will say my expectations for this are really high, so I'm hoping it meets those, but I'm definitely going to be really tough on this gun because I want to make sure this is worth the cost that you guys are spending. So far, this is really cool. I can't really give you my opinion yet if this is really something that I think you should spend your money on because I want to shoot more rounds through it and see how reliable it is and see if my thoughts change on anything that I've thought so far. But right now, really cool gun, happy with it so far, and my expectations are really high on this. So we will see. If you guys want to follow with updates and see the testing process, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. That's where I continue to show you guys what I'm doing during the testing process before the full review comes, and I kind of always give my thoughts there as well. So if you want to check that out, a couple ways to help out the channel and the things that I do here, there are some discount codes down in the description from companies that I trust. There's also a link to my website. From there are links to other websites like Brownells, Aero Precision, Premier Body Armor. Anything you purchase using those links gives me a small kickback and shows those companies that I'm generating traffic, which is also a really good thing and helps out the channel. A couple of companies that really support me in the things that I do is Howitzer. Really love these guys in their clothing, and I greatly appreciate their support. They also donate 5% of proceeds to charity, which is really cool. Also, TA Targets, really love what this company supports and stands for, and they're pretty much the only targets that I use at my range. Very high quality targets. You can also use the discount code Tactical Advisor, and I'll save you 10% off if you want to order any for yourself. So thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. I got a couple really nice sub guns back here that I'm gonna be doing some videos on. This is the Axis AR-5K. It's like an MP5K and AR-15 combination. Really wild. It uses MP5 mags, which is really cool. But this thing is really cool. It will be getting its own review video here soon. And then I've got this CZ Scorpion, which has just gotten another facelift, which, my goodness, just look at this thing. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy with it. Strike Industries handguard. Victor's Legacy was actually the company that helped me put everything together because I was having some issues with the barrel nut because apparently they thought I was Superman and I could tear that thing to pieces. But Victor's Legacy was a huge help and got that off for me and got everything switched over. But absolutely beautiful gun. I'm going to be doing a new video on this probably. If you guys want to, let me know in the comments on the update on this gun and what I think of it and kind of my build list and show you guys what I went with. But so happy with how this thing has turned out. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all, and I will see you later.